Wednesday morning was a rough morning for June and Chevy. Vicky had to cage them out of the downstairs because she's got a crew down here laying carpet in her office. But that's the least of our worries today. The dogs are medicated. Today is their annual checkup at the vet. So I load them up in the Suburban and realize I've got more than one problem on my hands this morning. I'll try and deal with the missing lug nuts if I can make it through this vet appointment first. By the time I got there, the medication had kicked in pretty good. They were both mellowed out. June not as much as Chevy. I took June in first, and then she sat out in the Suburban and watched until we got done with Chevy, and I don't even want to talk about that situation. Once I got back to the shop, I picked up Billy's wheels off his Mustang, put them in the trunk of the Malibu, and then headed into Jegs so we can get these tires replaced and hopefully finish up tuning the carburetor so he can maybe race it this weekend. Now at this point, the plan is to take the Mustang, the Malibu, and the S10 down to Cincy street nights to test all of them. The Mustang is a complete unknown, the S10 has a new converter, and the Malibu I plan on running an 1150 index. And I would like to make a 10-second pass with it, if at all possible. So once Uncle Terry got me hooked up with the tires and everything else I needed, we loaded everything back in the Suburban, and I head back home. Kenny and Robbie were already there at the shop, waiting on me to get back, and they wasted no time getting the front tires and wheels put on the Mustang so I could take it up the road to test drive it and see how this carburetor acts. Plus, they needed to get the S10 brought in the shop so we can go ahead and get the transmission and the brand new converter installed. Bubba Rafferty at Perfect Converter built Billy a brand new billet 6-bolt converter which required a 6-bolt flex plate. So Robbie went ahead and got that installed and torqued it down, while Kenny starts working on taking the tires off the rims and switching from Hoosiers to Mickey Thompson's. Now Friday night at Edgewater is going to be prepped, and Pacemakers has been bracket racing again, and the track has been sprayed up there recently. So it's more important for us to be on a Mickey Thompson for this weekend, plus next weekend at Norwalk, we'll be at No Prep Kings, and that track should be pretty decent as well. So with Mickey Thompson's and this new converter, we should be in pretty good shape. Just about the time Billy was ready to take the truck up the road for a test drive, Vicky brought dinner home for everybody. And when Billy came back, I was anxious to hear what he thought of this new converter. So what do you think?
Man, it feels better than it has in a long time.
Really?
Yeah, like it stretched the front end out. It was black tracking, but still pulling really fucking hard. And I started in high gear from like a 50 roll, and it got to probably 135, and just a couple seconds. It seemed like it was just right now.
Really?
Yeah. I should have done a 60 with a 130 on it on my draggy, but
So it feels good.
it feels really good. It feels better than it has in a long time.
And it's
not
basically the
best
same
it's ever
converter
been.
that's in the Nova, right? A little
Yeah.
bit different, but
Yeah, they look identical, but obviously there's differences.
right. Let's get something to eat. Mom's got pizza in there.
Sounds good.
So we finished up for the night Wednesday, and then Thursday morning, bright and early, poor Vicky had to go up to the farm and retrieve my father for a doctor's appointment. And luckily, Uncle Bucko was up there to help with transferring him from the house into the car. Meanwhile, down at the house, me, Kenny, and Harley are all busy getting ready for the weekend. Harley was helping me get all the cars cleaned up, and she went ahead and gave Billy's Mustang a bath and swept the car all out and cleaned the interior. While she's working on that, Kenny Powers and Vicky were working on the office inside and dealing with this mess on the back porch. And as usual, the dogs are big helpers anytime the garden hose is out in action. Anyway, once we had Vicky's honey-do list taken care of, it was time for me to get back on a project of my own. I had Kenny help me get the 327 pulled out and started cleaning it up and getting ready to put a new camshaft in it and paint the block. This engine's going in the 55, and I've just been waiting on this camshaft from Iski to come in. So while Kenny's working on the 327, Robbie gets out the wheel polish and starts cleaning up the wheels from the back of the Falcon. Not only do the wheels need polished, we also need to get the Hoosiers off of them to get Mickey Thompson's put on for the weekend. So while the guys are busy working in my shop on this stuff, Uncle Bucko has made his way down to A1 Auto Parts for the first time in about 2 weeks.
This is not even custom. This is factory.
You're right, but I don't understand why that's threatened.
Since Dad's had open heart surgery, he's not supposed to be in a vehicle with an airbag, and Mom doesn't like driving his truck anyway, She likes driving her old Blazer, but she needs her air conditioning fixed first.
I've been gone for
You gotta
2
teach
weeks
the
and now
teacher.
you're the teacher.
Teach the teacher.
You're a teacher?
Well, I am a teacher.
What a,
I'm a therapist. I'm a
you're
babysitter.
a teacher of bullshit.
So this is where my day really takes a bad turn. Right after my brother left, I went down there, and when I got home, I couldn't find my cell phone.
What has happened?
Started with Uncle Buckeye. Okay?
Yeah.
That started the whole process.
Oh.
Just to put icing on the cake. So it seems that Bill may have run over
his own
in
phone.
the park.
So Vicky heads to Columbus to get me a new phone and sends smoke signals to Jeremy that I've made a mistake.
Well, well, well. What have we done today?
Smashed my phone. So while Vicky's on her wild goose chase to Columbus trying to look for a phone, everyone else is busy back at the shop trying to get Billy's Mustang ready for the weekend.
And it's bent.
We had to put one new tie rod on and replace all 4 springs in order to get this thing ready. Then once we got all that done, it was time to go out and make some test hits. So after we got done testing Billy's Mustang at about 4 o'clock in the morning, at 7 a.m., I was first in line at the T-Mobile store in Pataskala to pick up my new iPhone 14, me and my security detail. So let's just say I didn't get a whole lot of sleep before we ended up down in Cincinnati, 2.5 hours southwest of our house, Friday evening for Cincy Street Nights at Edgewater Sports Park. Tommy helped me get the Malibu out of the trailer, and I got busy wiping the car off and making a couple adjustments to the carburetor to get it ready to foot brake race tonight. After that, I filled out my tech card, got the car through tech, and then I went up to the starting line to check out the track surface and prepare myself to make my first 10-second pass in the Malibu. A couple little adjustments to the shocks, and of course the nitrous controller, and I should be ready to go.
All right, so we're in the staging lanes, and we were late getting down here, and I think they just closed the staging lane, so I'm only going to get one time trial. I'm really only here to do one thing tonight, and that's try and make a 10-second pass in this car. So I'm going to go ahead and hit this thing right off the get-go. I was going to make a motor hit. I don't have time. So
You're going straight into the big business.
I'm straight into the big business. So we're going to try and make a 10-second pass right off the trailer, and then I can turn it down and run 1150. I'm not worried about 1150 tonight. I'm just trying to go 10s tonight. That's all I really care about.
All right.
See how it goes.
All right.
Now we were pretty late getting down there, and I didn't get hardly any sleep. And inevitably when we first get there, everyone's excited to come and say hi and talk to us about the cars. It's incredibly difficult to get our pit set up, get the dogs situated, get the tune-up put in the car and get ready under the best circumstances. And in my rush to get the car ready, I made a critical error when programming my nitrous controller. I meant to set my nitrous ramp at a half a second. Unfortunately, the stage duration got set at a half a second too, so that made the nitrous turn on and off all the way down the track and ruined my chances for making a 10-second pass right off the trailer. Next up was first round of eliminations for small tire, and Billy put the S10 in the shootout. Even though he was just there to test, he went ahead and put the truck in the class just to help support the event. He was the first pair down in the left-hand lane, and he was sitting in the burnout box while the national anthem played right before we got started. Now, since he's also got the Mustang there with him tonight, he's going to run it in 13.0 index class. So we've got 3 cars entered in 3 different classes, and we're both running on about 3 hours of sleep. Billy managed to make it through first round of eliminations, but the truck still isn't making enough boost. So I told him just to crank up the dome pressure on the wastegates, and I headed for the staging lanes for first round.
Here in 1150 class, and I was just going to let it go 1090, but you want me to try and win. I accidentally set my stage duration to half a second, and so the nitrous came on and off, on and off, on and off, on and off, all the way down the track, ruined my pass.
Oh, listen, he was grumpy after that. But
I'm just kind of fed up.
listen, do your best, and we'll go from there, and have a good night.
Now, it's really against my nature to enter a class and not try to win. So I went ahead and put a tune-up in the Malibu that should put about 1150 on the board and went to work. I managed to win first round going 1600ths over the index. Unfortunately, after I won, there was a major accident on the track where a Pro Mod had wrecked, and it took a long time to get it cleaned up. So, we've had a crash tonight, a pretty massive Pro Mod crash. We're running way late, and I'm ready to go home.
And you are wanting your 10-second pass.
And I'm gonna get it. So before we head out to the burnout box, I went over and told this fella in the S10 pickup, whatever you do, don't go red. Because I'm going out the back, and I'm gonna go a hell of a lot faster than 1150 one way or the other. I even told the announcer up in the tower, don't be surprised if you see a 10-second time come up on the board, second round, and I go home early, because that's my plan.
Dude, that thing left in a hurry. Holy shit.
Billy gave his word.
He's gonna be happy.
Yeah. Wasn't no 1090 neither. Dude, it left hard. It looked awesome.
I said, I got the torch out because my bottle heater, the pressure switch wasn't working. So I got the torch out and got the bottle up about 1,000 pounds. I went up there and banged it through there a couple times. I said, ooh, that hits good. It did.
So, like, you wouldn't know until you got back to the ticket booth that you even went 10s. Did you know immediately once you made the pass?
When it left, it felt like my Nova.
Yeah.
Back when the Nova had like 488s on it, leaving at 6,800 RPM. I mean, it was like, and it rattled the tire a little bit when it left. It rattled the tires for the first 30 feet of the run.
Wait till you see the pictures Allison got.
Oh, really? She got pictures
Oh,
of
yeah.
it? Dude, when I clicked second gear, I was like, ooh, she's a rolling, boy.
Ever since the first time I laid eyes on this Malibu, the day Billy went to buy it, I thought, man, this would be a badass 10-second, no excuses, daily driven streetcar project. Now, of course, that wasn't Billy's original intention for this car. He wasn't even going to race it. He just wanted to have a nice cruiser. But being brought into a family where our entire life revolves around drag racing, it was inevitable that the little 3.3-liter V6 would be scrapped and a healthy V8 would go in its place. It was literally less than a week before that process began, with degreasing the old V6, yanking it out, and replacing it with a nice little 355 small block Chevy that we found locally for sale at a reasonable price. It was actually an engine that Billy had previously had in a 69 Nova that we bought for $1,500. After a cam and head swap, the little 355 managed to go 1246 on the first pass. It wasn't long before 11s were made on nitrous, and that's when I started breaking the 10 bolt about once a week. I went ahead and made an order for a Mosier 9-inch rear end, but it was going to be a little while before I could get it. And we ended up with the car on E85 and tuned for quite a bit more power than the little 10 bolt would hold. But once I got the Mosier 9-inch in the car and the Team Z anti-roll bar, I could finally start to unleash the full potential of the little small block Chevy. After we got done celebrating my 10-second pass, old Junebug ended up in the finals with 13.0 index. You'll get to see how that turned out on Street Racing Channel probably tomorrow or later this week. After we got done for the night, we loaded up and started to head towards the house and stopped at IHOP for a few minutes to get a bite to eat. We did manage to go to Pacemakers on Saturday. You'll see that on Street Racing Channel. But by Sunday, Vicky and I's main concern was to get caught up on rest, yard work, and getting her office all put back together for her first day back after vacation. After that, we figured it was a perfect opportunity to bust out the old streetcar and go out to dinner. I mean, after all, what good is a 10-second streetcar if it's not really a streetcar? A streetcar you can turn the air conditioning on and drive it basically anywhere you want to go. A real deal, no excuses, 10-second streetcar that you can stop and fill up at the pump, just like everyone else. All right, Squirrely Locks, what have you got for me tonight?
Details. This weekend coming up is a big one. We are headed to Summit Motorsports Park in Norwalk, Ohio for No Prep Kings.
Your phone's vibrating and it's going to distract you. You're going to lose your train of thought. I already saw it in your eyes as soon as it buzzed on the table. You went
But I
blank.
silenced it so it wouldn't.
Who is pestering us now?
Tommy?
Oh, my phone won't. Oh. It's Thomas in the group chat.
Thomas? What's he want?
He needs a trailer so he can take the Dart to No Prep Kings this weekend.
Yeah, so we're gonna have the Falcon, the S10, the Malibu, the Dart. There's gonna be so much going on.
And I'm not going to promise Kenny Powers will be there because every time I think Kenny Powers is coming, something
Anything can happen.
goes awry. His
But he
transmission
could
can
be.
fall out of the car, a brake line go out,
Let's fingers
something
crossed.
can catch fire. There's just any
There's
number
bad
of
luck.
there's just any number of things that can happen that throws Kenny off course. So we're not going to promise anything on Kenny
But he
Powers.
might be. You never
He
know.
might. I'm
he
not
might,
gonna
but
say
we're
he
not
is.
100% yet, sure.
No, absolutely
Okay,
not.
but here's the deal. So Friday night, they have a small tire shootout, and for you, they have a 7.0 index.
So if you guys want to take a shot at the old man, come and get it. 7.0 index.
Yep. And
Get you
so,
some.
The deal is on Friday, people that are general admission just coming in the gate 4 o'clock, and then racing starts around 5 or later. There are advanced tickets if you want to get in a couple hours earlier. You go online and get special tickets. If you want to go online and do that, go to Street Outlaws Live Facebook page for the link to do that if you want to get in earlier.
Okay, what
All
else?
right. Okay, so Saturday, also a small tire shootout and daily driver, or no, cut. They have another small tire shootout.
Honey,
What?
you have to wait for me to say action.
Saturday is another small tire race and another index race for you. So yeah, the guys are going to be racing both days. The times for Saturday are 11:30 in the morning to get in, unless you've bought those special tickets to get in earlier. And
Racing starts Saturday sometime around 2.
Okay. Is that it?
Can we talk about the new merch?
Yes.
so the new, finally at last, my C10 truck shirt and hoodies. They're live on the website. They're so
They're pre-ordered.
Cool. They're pre-order.
Let's not forget that.
Yes, it's going to take about 3 weeks, and we'll be shipping them out. They're so cute. You're going to show the pictures, right?
No.
Yes. So there's a lot of options. There's mint green. There's a cream color. There's like a sandstone color. There's like so many options, t-shirts or hoodies.
Wonderful. Now we get to stock 3 different colors of the same shirt in all these different sizes. Where are we going to put all this stuff?
Because there's girls and guys.
So give the guys one color, the girls one color. Doesn't need to be
Listen,
3.
we gotta have options.
And there's plenty of room that we can compress what's here and make it work. Me and Harley have already discussed it, so we'll be good. Don't worry. That's not your problem to worry about anyway. What else?
You're about to get chipmunked.
Oh, on Saturday, I was reading there's a daily driver for fans class, which is just for any old fans.
Wouldn't it be a hoot if I jumped in my Suburban and did the daily driver for fans class?
Why don't you jump in the Suburban?
Yeah, it's
No.
like for daily driver.
Jump in my
things.
Malibu. It's a daily driver.
No, I don't know how to. No. Do I squeeze anything?
Yeah.
What am I squeezing?
You squeeze the handle.
This?
Yes. Squeeze the handle and pull it back.
Oh my god, it feels like it's gonna come apart. No.
Oh, that would require you to think a little bit.
I'm not dealing with that whole contraption shifter thing.
It's just a shifter with a couple of gauges mounted to it. You act like it's the dashboard of the Starship Enterprise.
It looks like it. No, wouldn't that be funny though if I just jumped in the Suburban and did that? I'm thinking about it.
What if I set it up so you can just put it in drive and it shifts itself?
No, because something will happen and it'll mess it up for your class.
No, then I won't race on Saturday. I'll let you race it on Saturday.
It's not... I think what they want is for slow cars. That's not a slow car anymore.
It is a slow car with you in it. On a hard tire, it'll be a slow car.
Oh, that's another thing. Are you going to get fresh tires?
Oh, that's not your problem. Remember, we had this discussion.
All right.
You don't need to worry about things that aren't your problem.
And you don't worry about things that aren't your problem, like where
I
we're
never
gonna
do.
No, you were just just worried about where we're gonna.
Well,
stack
technically,
hoodies.
this is my shop, so this is
No,
my
this side-
problem.
No, this side is my side. You don't worry about this side.
Moving on.
Moving on.
What?
That's still people need to be very careful about those scammers on YouTube.
Oh, come on.
No, every day I get people in my messenger. Did I win
They're
something?
just trying to get in your messenger to pester you to death.
No, people still think they've won something.
Oh, my
Nobody's
God.
gonna win anything. in
Please,
any
people,
comments.
stay out of my wife's DMs. We're not giving anything away in the
No.
comments ever. I don't give a shit who they are. I don't care. I don't care what they're. I am saying it. Stay out of my wife's DMs about this stupid scammer stuff. God have mercy. What else? Is that it?
Grumpy.
Well, that's stupid. We've already covered this. Like,
I know, but not everybody watches every single video, so
that's
I thought,
not my problem.
Well, we are going to be fully stocked for this weekend. We have, at Norwalk, we're going to have the merch set up. We've got hoodies rolling in. Billy's got like 7 boxes of stuff over here from Gina. All new, supply of stuff.
And
And
Tony Politano and
Tess
Tess
and Tony.
are going to be here Wednesday.
yes, they arrive. Yep.
So they'll be with us.
And Miss Addie.
And Miss Addie and her mom
Her
are going to
mom
be there
are
in the
going to be
booth.
there helping me in the merch booth. I'll have my buddy Bill Bybee helping me in the merch booth. We'll have posters.
The dogs will be there, but don't
don't
pet
pet
June. This one,
Don't pet. It's just best not to pet either of them. But yeah.
that one. Don't touch that one. She only likes to be petted by me,
And that's all. Not even
and that's
me.
basically it.
Not even me. Not even me.
Now, Scrappy, on the other hand, you can
She'll
pet her.
come up and want a belly rub.
Yeah, you'll know. She'll come up and whack you right in the nuts if you got nuts. We're not going to get into that conversation right now. That's a whole nother thing these days.
Are you done?
Yeah.